How do you feel?
I'm feeling uneasy, man.
Well, look, Martin, I don't want to suggest anything that might be uncomfortable for you, but you might just consider the possibility that part of your problem, part of the thing that's making you so miserable is the angst over killing a lot of people.
I got invited to my 10-year high school reunion. What am I going to say? Killed the president of Paraguay with a fork. How have you been?
Get out of town. Visit with what's-her-name.
Debbie.
Go see some old friends. Have some punch. Don't kill anybody for a few days. See what it feels like.
I'll give it a shot.
Don't give it a shot. Don't shoot anything.
Under blue moon, I saw you.
How long's it been? 10 years?
Since you stood me up on prom night and vanished without a word?
Yeah.
Years, man! Where have you been for 10 years?
I freaked out. I joined the army. I'm a professional killer.
Oh, do you have to do postgraduate work for that, or can you jump right in?
Kid, I'm putting together a little concern.
What, like a union?
More like a club. Work less, make more.
I don't want to join your goddamn union, all right?
Okay, but we're not going to let you do your little job here. We're going to do it for you. And after we do your job, we're going to do another little job.
Is it the job? Is it getting to you?
This is me breathing. I've lost my taste for it completely. That's why I came back.
You know what you need?
What?
Shakabuku. It's a swift spiritual kick to the head that alters your reality.
Debbie, I'm in love with you. I know we can make this relationship work. This union, is there going to be meetings?
Of course!
No meetings.
Welcome home.
Welcome to the Movie Club. I'm your host, Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 1997 action comedy classic, Grosse Pointe Blank, starring John Cusack, Dan Aykroyd, Minnie Driver, Jeremy Piven. It's an all-star cast. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week on the B Movie Club, I discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. You can go ahead and go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club, and give us the big thumbs up. You can also go to our page on YouTube, KD9575. That's me. Don't forget to subscribe. It's totally free. And, of course, follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. Don't forget to spread the word to all your friends and neighbors. Grosse Pointe Blank. Martin Blank is an international assassin. Freelance. He takes contracts to kill various people. But he's having kind of a crisis. 10 years ago, just before he graduated from high school, he disappeared before the prom and was never heard from again from his town, essentially. And he left his high school sweetheart, just disappeared. For some reason, he felt compelled to join the army. He had a certain psych evaluation about himself, and they discovered he had a moral flexibility that lended himself to assassinations. So that's what he does now, but keeps having this reoccurring dream about the girl he left behind. Now, like I said, it's been 10 years. Now he's got an invitation to the 10-year high school reunion. So he's got to go back to his hometown of Grosse Pointe, Michigan, which is kind of an affluent area, a suburb of Detroit. And kind of, wasn't sure he wanted to go, but maybe this will help him kind of find himself, I guess. He's been unsatisfied, perhaps with his career, perhaps with the direction his life has taken, whatever it is. So his psychiatrist tells him, go back, go to the reunion. Maybe you'll find what you're looking for. So he goes back, finds his sweetheart. She's a local DJ. Everybody still knows her. She's very successful as a DJ, I guess. He's in town. He starts meeting some people that he knew from back in the day. Now, like I said, he's an international assassin. Now, he's actually, while he's going to the reunion, he also has a job to do. There's a person he has to assassinate while he's there. So, but he's kind of conflicted about it. Okay, maybe I'll do this one job, maybe I won't, I'll wait. Now, here's a little wrinkle. There's a competing assassin called the Grocer, who is also in town. He's trying to form an assassin's union, if you will, for collective bargaining purposes, I guess. And he wants Martin to join his guild. And Martin's like, no thanks. I like the whole image of being an assassin. I wear black clothes all the time. I'm a loner. I'm a rebel. No can do. So if he won't join the union, the Grocer is going to take him out. So the Grocer's got a couple crooked NSA agents on his payroll, essentially. NSA agents, their plan is to wait till Martin commits the assassination he's in town to do. They'll kill him, and all is right with the world kind of thing. And there's another guy in town, another assassin. Evidently, Martin screwed up a job a few weeks or months back, and now the job that he screwed up, those people are out to kill him as well. It's complicated. Complicated. So he meets up with the sweetheart. They start doing some rekindling. He finds that when everybody asks what he does for a living, he just tells them, hey, I'm a professional assassin. They all think he's joking. Oh, Pshaw, hilarious. But they don't take him seriously. So he goes to the reunion, dances, rekindles. There's a little bit of love. They're getting back together kind of thing. But then the evil assassin from out of town attacks Martin. He's got to fight him off. Gets him with a pen, and she witnesses the aftermath, and so, though sweetheart, she's horrified. Oh no, oh, I can't believe it, it's horrible. To make matters worse, he realizes, oh, I've blown it with my sweetie, what am I going to do now? Finally opens up the dossier for the person he's there to assassinate and discovers, oh, it's my sweetheart's father. I have to murder the father, but that will really mess up things with my girl. The Grocer is after me with his team of assassins. The other crazy assassin is in from out of town to get me. The NSA agents are chasing me. There's a lot going on, okay? I don't want to spoil everything, much more than I already have. What can I tell you about this movie? Well, it was originally written, the playwright, or screenwriter I should say, he wrote it because when he received his 10-year high school reunion, it kind of made like, oh, that'd be interesting. There had been rumors what had happened to him. He left Michigan and come to LA to do other things. He was actually working as a substitute teacher and a cashier at Big Lots while he was writing this script. A lot of the character names are from his childhood and the people he knew. So they were kind of going for that whole thing. A lot of people like this movie because it has that kind of... First of all, it's John Cusack. So if John Cusack is in it at playing Martin Blank, the lead character, it's always going to be different. Because, you know, he has a certain way of acting. It's that kind of, hey, I'm quirky and I'm likable, but kind of a little off kilter, just a little bit, you know, kind of awkward, but likable, that sort of thing. So that really kind of suited what he brings to the table. There are actually 3 other Cusacks who play roles in this movie, including Joan, who plays his assistant. Anne is another Cusack. She's in this movie somewhere. Bill Cusack. They're everywhere. Those Cusacks. They're spreading. What can I tell you? So the whole cast, the music was very 80s, but it wasn't kind of popular. And when I say popular, you know what I mean, like top 40 80s music. It was kind of alternative, kind of underground music that they were going for, like Violent Femmes and things like that, The Clash. In fact, the soundtrack was organized and arranged by Joe Strummer of The Clash. So there you go, it all comes together. Okay, it all connects. Minnie Driver plays the sweetheart. She was kind of hot stuff there for a couple of years. She'd just done Good Will Hunting, you know, so Circle of Friends. She did a few films there. Joan Cusack said in an interview that there's an unofficial sequel to Grosse Pointe Blank that came out in 2008 called War Incorporated, or War Inc., I should say. Which also starred John Cusack as the central character and has an assistant played by Joan Cusack. Coincidence? I don't know. Not playing the same characters, but I guess it's kind of a spiritual sequel, if you will. Good times. And of course, then you got Jeremy Piven. John Cusack and Jeremy Piven have been buddies since way back in the day. So if John's in it, then you know they're going to find a place for old Jeremy. This is before he went on to go do... Entourage and those things like that. So Jeremy Piven's doing very well for himself. He's kind of, speaking for myself, I'm very aware of people's hairlines. So you'll notice his hairline's a little different in 1997 than it is today. Fountain of Youth? El Dorado? I don't know. What can I tell you? Rogaine? Could be. Good times had by all. This movie currently has an 86% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics loved it. Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars. He thought it was well acted. There was good chemistry between the performers, but it was kind of a near miss. Like he wished the writing would have been a little bit more clever and witty. And I tend to agree. I enjoyed the movie a lot. It did leave me a little disappointed because it's kind of what they call a tweener. Like it has kind of comedic elements and it has like this kind of drama, the relationship thing going on there. And it also has like kind of action of shootouts and things like that. But I never thought that the humor was that hilarious, in my opinion. I mean, it was kind of fun, but it wasn't like, oh, that's a knee slapper. One thing that I found that was kind of interesting, and this kind of calls back to John Cusack was in Say Anything, like however many years, 8 years prior. And he talks about how kickboxing is the sport of the future and Say Anything. Well, interestingly enough, the assassin from out of town who fights with John Cusack in the halls of the high school is actually a world-famous kickboxer, Benny the Jet Urquidez, who is actually John Cusack's kickboxing instructor in real life. Hey, it's a small world after all. Now, the movie took place in Grosse Pointe, but it was mostly filmed in and around Los Angeles. It was actually like a Reseda high school. So, what are you going to do? If you can't trust a movie, what can you trust? So that's Grosse Pointe Blank. I enjoyed it. It's still streaming instantly on Netflix. Rush out and see it if you have not already, and let me know what you think. Send any questions, comments, favorite scenes, favorite quotes, and maybe I'll talk about it on the show. Maybe. Also, don't forget those movie suggestions. I love to hear movies that you're like, you know what was that one movie that they did one time? Maybe I can help you. That's what I'm here for, okay? Next week, moving away from whatever kind of movie this is, we're going to be doing the science fiction action classic, The Fifth Element, starring Bruce Willis, Gary Oldman, Mila Jovovich, It's an all-star cast. What can I tell you? It is also streaming instantly on Netflix, so rush out and see it. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. Give us the thumbs up. Go to our page on YouTube and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote. And here it is. 1,000 innocent people get killed every day, but one millionaire's pet gets detonated and you're marked for life. So there you have it. That's Grosse Pointe Blank. Next week, don't forget to check out The Fifth Element. Thank you for joining us, and be well.